Welcome to Poopcast. I'm Jimmy Davis.
I'm a guy that loves pooping.
I am Goop Videos.
And I think we always starts out really weird when we have our guests introduce themselves. I think that was the master poop is the reason why we keep doing that. I think we're gonna eventually have to change it to something different because it's always really awkward to transition into the actual episode. But anyway, I sometimes have announcements to say, but I don't this time. Anyway, let's just get into it then. So we always start out asking our guests at the very beginning, what is essentially your YouTube poop story? Like, how did you first discover YouTube poop, some of the earliest YouTube poops and YouTube poopers you used to watch, and leading up to when you decided to start making your own YouTube poops?
Okay, well, it all started, I think, back in about 2009, 2010, around that time. And I was, I'm a big SpongeBob fan. It's one of my favorite shows. I also loved Ed, and Eddy. I still love all those shows, but I was watching a lot of those weird, MS Paint videos of like SpongeBob. And then one day I came across a video called The Haunted Hotel of Ouija by Hurricoaster, and it was brilliant. Like I loved it. And even though it's kind of dated today, there's still a few moments that I really enjoy from the video, even though it is a spit-inner poop. Like the part where Squidward goes to the elevator and Mr. Krabs just goes, die.
Yeah.
Like, I still find that funny. But yeah, that I think was the first poop I ever saw. Either that or it was Sky Had a Ouija, one of Hurricoaster's early videos.
Yeah.
And then after that, I think I saw Toys Gone Wild was like the second one I saw, because it was in like the recommended section for Sky Had a Ouija. And I just kind of went from there. I discovered Hurricoaster, Alvin YTP, and then like one of the first, like I was watching a bunch of spit-inner poops, but around, I think it was 2011, that's when I started to discover real YouTube poops. So Hurricoaster started to get really good, and then I saw like Rip Snortin' Time and like all of his like modern YTPs. And then I discovered a guy called Sushi Boy, and I don't know if you've ever heard of him. He's a very underrated pooper, and I saw this video called Ed and Eddy Play Russian Roulette, and I was like, this is different. Like, it's not doing the like meme replacement stuff. This is doing like sentence mixing and like stutter loops, and like what is this? Like, it's amazing. Like, it's even better. So then I started getting into those kinds of poops, and I discovered guys like Barney is Reverted, Santa with Teeth, Emperor Lemon I discovered around like 2012. Like, I've been watching him like long before like The Uncredibles. And that was really something, when I became friends with him, that was like a dream come true, because I always thought he was the coolest guy ever.
Yeah.
So yeah. But and then I think once I started, I think around 2013, that's when YouTube poop for me started to get really good, and I discovered more poopers like Mobro Studios, and that was real. His videos were really the reason why I wanted to start doing it, because like I was blown away. Like his videos convinced me that YouTube poop was like an art form.
That's interesting, because it's I think you have a pretty different style from Mobros. Mobros is very cinematic, and yours is more similar to Emp Lemon's, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, Emp Lemon, I think, is a heavier inspiration for me, but I think Mobros is an inspiration in the way that, like, I was convinced, like, this is literally, like, an art form, and I want to do this. Like, maybe not specifically do what he's doing, but I want to make YouTube poops.
Right.
I think, but my style, I think, kind of goes along the lines of, like, Emperor Lemon is obviously a huge inspiration, and I don't know if you've heard of Timothée LSD.
Yeah, he made he made I Accidentally Hotel Mario, right?
Oh god, yeah, and a bunch of other great poops. He's my favorite YouTube pooper of all time. He just has such a unique style, and he has a lot of his own like inside jokes, which is something that I always enjoyed.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I actually need to. I was just gonna say I've been meaning to actually watch his stuff. I think that Hotel Mario one is.
The Hotel Mario video is amazing. It's so good.
Oh yeah.
I like the part where it's like, nice of the to invite us over for a Luigi.
I think the Luigi playing the saxophone is always one. For some reason, that's one of my favorite parts.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And I also really like his Professor Layton YouTube poops. Those got some really good sentence mixing in them. Like, if you guys haven't seen them, look up like Timoteo SD Professor Layton.
Yeah,
There's two of them.
I think that I think the Hotel Mario one might be the only one from him I've ever seen. I don't know why I haven't watched the other ones, because I really like that one.
He also has a series called You Pipe Shit, which is like of there's like 12 of them. Like, the earlier ones aren't really all that great, but they're of the Super Mario Brothers Super Show cartoons.
Uh-huh.
And there's this really great moment where Luigi is like hanging from a pipe. And he's like, "Now what? Let go! I'll catch ya!" And he falls, and Mario misses. And he's all convoluted. He's like, "Nice catch, Mario!" And then Mario goes, "I'll catch ya!"
Oh, you know what? I have seen that one. I don't remember where, but I think I saw that in like a compilation somewhere.
It's such a good moment. Or the one where it's like, "Leap, Luigi!" And then the cage hits them, and it's like blood everywhere.
Yeah, I definitely need to go watch those videos.
Yeah, he's amazing. But yeah, that was he was probably my biggest inspiration, next to like Emperor Lemon, and probably Barney is Perverted is another huge inspiration for me.
Okay, and what was your first YouTube poop you made then? Is it like the first one you have on your channel, or did you make more before that?
Yeah, I mean, I made a couple back in like mid 2014 because I got Vegas. No, wait, I had Sony Movie Studio first, actually.
Okay.
And I was kind of experimenting with that, and I got to know the program, and then I upgraded to Vegas that Christmas, and I already knew how to use Movie Studio, so it wasn't too hard to figure out how to use Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
So there were a couple of like really bad YouTube poops I made, which no one will ever see. I don't even think I have them anymore. I don't even remember what they were about. I think I used SpongeBob and like the Three Stooges, and I made them in Movie Studio. Yeah, they didn't come out that great, but those were like the first YouTube poops I made. But the first official one that I uploaded was the first one on my channel. Spingebill convinces Squishward to build him a bomb out of a used pinball machine.
Okay.
So, that has some good moments in it, but I've definitely come a really long way since then.
Yeah, I think that's what a lot of people can say about their earlier YouTube poops.
I still think your first poop is really good. I mean, that was for Young J97's collab, right?
Right. Yeah, that one.
Was...
I don't necessarily hate that one, but looking back, I've definitely come a long way, I think.
Yeah, you've come a really long way, but I still liked it. Like when I saw his collab, like I used to love Young J97. Like he was one of the few poopers at the time who was doing Veggie Tales. I really loved, and there were a lot of Veggie Tales poops that were like, well, there weren't a lot of them, but it wasn't a common source. But the ones that were made were actually really good, and I was like, people should use this source more often.
Yeah.
I mean, I loved it as a kid. Like it was like one of my favorite shows, like as a little kid. So.
Oh yeah. Have you done a Veggie Tales YouTube poop?
I was working on one of Josh and the Big Wall.
Okay.
And it's like the ending is finished, but like the main portion of the video is going to be like the silly song. Because I had a funny moment where like this is my Aunt Ruth. This is me fighting my Aunt Ruth. Whoa.
Yeah.
It's like a weird sense mix. This is me in the bull and it's like mirrored. I think that's the bull. He's a bull.
Okay.
So it's like a weird sentence mix, but
you know this upcoming Christmas is the 25th anniversary of Veggie Tales. I wonder if I should
really.
Wonder if I should maybe do a collab for that.
I would enter for it, except I can't include ear rape or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, I've kind of relaxed on my opinion on ear rape. I don't really mind it so much anymore.
Also, the Master Judge collab you did, you got kind of dirty in that one.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't understand. I mean, the editing's really good, but to be honest, I couldn't tell what was done by you and what was done by Master Josh because the jokes were so similar.
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely tell the difference because I think he uses Premiere and his visual editing is much better looking than mine. But
yeah. Well, I mean, you're both really good, but I could tell what parts. I could tell some of the parts, like the part where just sit here. It's like say nothing, like that's you.
Yeah.
Like I can tell that was you. Or the part where it's like you took from Albuquerque. Like, wait a minute, I'll go check.
Yeah. Yeah. There are definitely a couple parts in there that I incorporate some of my some stuff that I've done before. But
I
yeah.
don't think I ever told you I saw Weird Al live once.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, in 2011, it was the Alpocalypse tour. That was my first concert ever. I couldn't believe I saw him in person. Like he comes out with the accordion, with the weird face that he does, and I'm like, oh my god, that's Weird Al right in front of me. What is going on? Is this for real?
Yeah, I know he's touring right now, and or he's going to. I don't know for sure if he's on tour right now, but
yeah, he's playing at the same theater that I saw him at, but the tickets are really expensive, and I'm seeing Judas Priest that night, so I can't go.
Yeah, I think he's going to be in Fargo, I think in June or something like that, and that's like a 3.5 hour drive from where I'm at. I should really look into seeing if I can get a ticket for that.
It's a great show. You will not be disappointed.
Yeah, I've seen live performances of him on YouTube and stuff, and it looks like it's a lot of fun.
He is amazing live.
And now that I think about it, I've never actually been to a real concert before.
I go to too many. I go to concerts 2 to 3 times a month because I live in New York City, so I take the train to the city, go to shows in little clubs or stadiums and, just rock out.
Yeah. I should look into taking a trip to New York City. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, you'd like it. It's fun. I'm really into we have the New York hardcore scene over here, so I'm into punk and metal and stuff like that. I do a lot of moshing and stage dives and a lot of aggressive dancing. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. I've heard you say in the the Gaming Cat episode you're not into metal.
Yeah, I mean I guess it really depends on the type of metal. When I think of metal, I tend to think more of like really heavy metal, like screamo type stuff. That's not really the thing I'm really into.
I mean, I'm into a lot of that. That's That's the type of metal I listen to the most, like Cannibal Corpse, Slipknot, and stuff like that. But I'm also I'm just into all kinds of types. There's not one specific type that I like the most, really.
Okay. Yeah, I'm more of a Weird Al kind of guy. I like that kind of music.
Yeah, you also mentioned ska, I think.
Yeah, I really I work as a janitor and I can listen to music on YouTube and stuff. I have YouTube Red, so I can have stuff playing in the background on my phone screen turned off, so that's really nice. But I've listened to the soundtrack to all the old Tony Hawk games, and I really like that type of music. I've realized
a lot of those are covers of other songs. I think Real Big Fish has a cover of Take On Me on the Tony Hawk soundtrack.
Yeah.
Or I think My Chemical Romance has Astro Zombies by Misfits. It's all these kind of pop punk bands doing covers of hardcore songs or pop songs. So Tony Hawk's cool, and the soundtrack's kind of cool, but I feel like a lot of those songs weren't really meant to be covered specifically by those kinds of bands. Yeah. That's just my opinion, though.
Yeah.
I don't want to go into a politically correct punk conversation, so we'll move on from this.
Okay. Really quick before we go any farther, I should probably mention, Logan, your microphone keeps picking up little bits of audio from you moving around and stuff like that. I think it might be a little bit
no.
distracting. I mean, we've only been going for
Still-
like 15 minutes, so it's... Huh?
Wait.
What?
Wait, what?
Oh, I said I've just been sitting still. How is it picking up?
Maybe your sensitivity's too high.
Yeah, so, something's
How do you-
definitely going on, because you can see, your icon gets a green circle around it whenever the microphone's picking anything up, and it keeps picking up something.
Hang on. How do you adjust that?
I think go to your settings.
Well, if you adjust it, though, it might make it too quiet for the podcast, because you sound...
Well,
what you can do, Logan, is just mute the microphone when you're not talking like we did last time.
I mean, I could do that, but there's usually like a delay when I try to unmute it, so that actually did happen, whereas I wanted to say something and I unmuted it, but then by the time I finished unmuting, it was too late.
All right, it's not really too much of a problem, so I think it's okay.
Okay.
Has
actually-
it been noticeable, or?
A little, but not like a huge nuisance.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not like picking up your voice and echoing, is it?
No, nothing like that.
Nah, it's good.
Okay.
All right.
But actually, I want to ask this because I don't mean to like neglect Logan or anything like that. So, what music are you into, Logan?
I think I mentioned this before. Mostly, I just like listen to video game soundtracks. Like I've been listening to the Sonic Mania soundtrack a lot recently because they finally released that, so I bought it.
Sonic
The
Mania
digital
is cool.
It's really good.
Yeah,
And the
I
music-
played it on Wii U.
Wii U.
Yeah, it was like on Wii U Virtual Console. I played it at a friend's house.
Oh no, Sonic Mania.
Oh, then what am I thinking of?
Probably one of the Genesis games.
No.
Sonic Mania is the one that just came out last year. That was supposed to be like a follow-up to those games.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I know. I'm pretty sure it's on Wii U Virtual. Oh no, wait, not Wii U. Nintendo Switch.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I got confused for a sec. I always get those.
Okay.
I mean, I have a Switch and a Wii U. Like I have every Nintendo console, but I always get them confused because it's the same thing. Both have a touchscreen.
Yeah. But yeah, Sonic Mania was really good, and music was one of my favorite parts of that game, as is usual for Sonic games, honestly.
Yeah. I always loved it about like the classic Sonic games.
Oh yeah, and the adventure games, I also like the soundtracks in those.
Oh, well,
Some of them.
those have Crush 40. That's like along the styles that I like. That's like rock music. So I always enjoy that.
Okay.
I know a lot of people don't like Shadow the Hedgehog. I mean, understandable. It's like, in my opinion, it's probably one of the worst Sonic games, but it has a really great soundtrack. It's very like metal influenced.
I've heard some of the tracks, and it doesn't sound like it has a bad soundtrack. I've actually thought about just like listening to it. I think you can buy the soundtrack.
I Am
digitally.
All of Me is like one of the best Sonic songs in my opinion. It's so dark, but it's like so good. It would have worked really well with Sonic Unleashed, I think.
Sonic Unleashed soundtrack was really good. I really like Sonic Unleashed soundtrack.
Yeah.
I actually think Sonic Unleashed is a pretty underrated game in general.
Same.
But-
I mean, the Werehog levels, in my opinion, are a little clunky, but the fast-paced levels in that game are awesome.
Oh yeah, like if it was just the daytime stages, it would probably be one of my favorite Sonic games.
All right. So, what's next? I don't think there's much left to say about Sonic. So, what's next on the list?
Well, we just kind of have a conversation until we run out of stuff to say, and then go to the questions.
Yeah, I guess we could still talk before we get to the questions. How long have we been going for so far?
Let me just double check here. About 20 minutes, give or take.
Oh, okay. Okay, good. We got plenty of time left.
Yeah.
I'm seeing. I forgot to mention this. You guys like the Animaniacs?
Yeah.
I haven't watched Animaniacs much. I watched years ago, like at a friend's house, I watched like the first disc of like Volume 1 or something like that. I remembered it being really good.
They have the complete series on Netflix, unless they got rid of it. But I'm pretty sure they still have it on there.
Yeah, they're also doing a revival.
Yeah, I'm a little bit concerned about that. But
yeah, I don't know how that's gonna play out, but it could be good, it could be bad. You never know.
Yeah, I mean, I never watched it as a kid, so I don't have like a nostalgic connection to it. But at the same time, watching the original now, it's held up really well. I think it's probably funnier to an adult than it would be to a kid.
That's what I think. Like, I watched it as a kid, but I watched it recently again. It's like, this is better than I remembered. So wait, what was Logan gonna say?
Oh, I was just gonna say I should just get a Netflix account, just get a Netflix subscription, so I can actually watch some of the stuff that's on Netflix.
Yeah.
I don't know why I haven't yet.
But the reason I brought it up was Jimmy probably already knows, but I'm seeing the cast live tonight at my school is hosting an event. It's at I go to the State University of New York at Old Westbury. But there's another school down the road called Long Island University. So they have a big theater there that I used to do chorus back in like middle school, and I actually did a concert with the All County Chorus of New York at that theater. So that has a lot of good memories for me.
And so what exactly is it that's going on then with the cast?
They're basically going to be doing like live readings of like episodes and songs. I think specifically, I don't know if the entire cast is going to be there. I know that the voice of Yakko, who also played Carl Weezer, which you may or may not know, he's going to be there. He's probably going to do the United States, Canada, Mexico, Panama, Haiti, Jamaica, Peru. He's probably going to do that song when I see him.
Yeah. Yeah, that's seems to be like one of the most, if not the most popular thing to come from the Animaniacs.
I mean, it is a meme. I mean, there's the Donald Trump version. United States, Canada, Mexico, Mexico, Mexico. Go back to Mexico.
I don't think I've heard that before.
It's so funny. And when he starts doing the European countries, he points to Africa and just goes, Obama.
Who was it who made that? Do you know?
I don't remember. I don't think it was anyone particularly well known. It was just like a random Facebook meme.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to look that up.
I want to make speaking of memes, I don't know if you guys saw, but I capitalized on that "get out of my car" meme that was going on.
Yeah. And
my parody video is now my second most viewed video ever, behind Despicable Meme 1.
Yeah, I know NP Carlson did a YTP of that, and I'm pretty sure, I think that might be his most viewed video now.
Yeah, I think it is, actually.
If it's not his most viewed, it's definitely like his second most viewed.
Yeah, and I was like thinking about that. I was like, should I capitalize on another meme, or is that kind of like selling out? But I was like, I'm only going to do it if I actually have a good idea for it, because I made my parody video because I had a good idea for it, because I was sentence mixed him to say cock instead of car. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah, I kind of a similar thing with me and my Steamed Hams YTP. I was very seriously...
That was really good.
Yeah, thanks. I was very seriously considering doing a Get Out of My Car, but it's edited like a classic YTP, kind of the same thing. But I decided not to because I think, like you said, it feels like selling out. It feels like you're just kind of doing it for the views, and I mean, I guess there's nothing technically wrong with that, but I want to make videos that I think are going to be good and that that I would enjoy watching, years down the road or whatever. So
exactly.
Yeah.
And for me, it was like, well, it's either I'm only going to do it if I come up with a good idea and if it's still within its cycle. Like, because I've done that in the past, like with the We Are Number One thing, and I did that, and I made it right at the end of its meme cycle, and it got nothing. Not that that was my main goal to get views, but no one really cared at that point.
Yeah. I was actually thinking of maybe, because I definitely do want to do another edited like a classic YTP video, and I was thinking maybe that'd be a good idea to do it with like a dead meme, like "We Are Number One," so people don't think that I'm just capitalizing off the popularity of a current meme.
Right, I did that with Here Comes Pac-Man. Like, that got moderate success. It got like 10,000 views, but like the views wasn't the only thing. I got actually a decent amount of ad revenue from that video.
Yeah.
Which is surprising because I really don't get a lot of great ad revenue because my videos are a little controversial for YouTube.
Yeah.
So
I'm really confused about how the ads work on YouTube, because I've had some videos that get a ton of views and they're monetized and everything like that, but they don't get that much ad revenue. And then like I don't know if you watched my pumpkin Halloween video I did in 2016. That's like just like a 30-second long video, and that started getting a ton of views after Halloween of 2017, and it was getting like $1 per 1,000 views. And
yeah, I don't get it either. I think it's just a double standard at this point, especially if there's anything that whole Logan Paul controversy has taught us. YouTube just has a double standard, and they're just giving away their money to whoever's making more views and whatever.
Yeah. I mean, at least they did finally take action against Logan Paul, though. But yeah, they definitely. I mean, they took action against him, but he was the one who took the video down. But he deserves everything else that he's been hit with. Yeah.
But I do have to say this: I still don't respect him. I still don't think he's funny. But I do give him props for trying to make up for it. He did donate money to the suicide prevention hotline. He did do research on the topic. You know, he's trying to redeem himself, and I think that's a good thing on his part, but still doesn't really change my opinion on him. Yeah,
same with me. I think, you know, I already had no respect for him before, and now he's kind of lowered it even more, and now he kind of has to... Yeah, like you said, he has. I do give him credit for trying to redeem himself, but I think it's going to kind of be a time will tell type thing. See if he's actually serious about this, or if it's just kind of something he's doing in the moment to kind of save face or whatever.
Right. I'm never really going to be a fan of him.
No.
So, Logan, you were saying?
I was just going to say, let's be real. He wouldn't have done anything. YouTube wouldn't have done backlash. Nothing would have happened. If there was no backlash, no one would have cared.
Yeah.
Or he wouldn't have cared and YouTube wouldn't have cared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And actually, I think I might have mentioned this in a different podcast, but honestly, I kind of feel like, you know, I kind of feel like his other videos of him in Japan are almost kind of more offensive than the actual dead body video that he uploaded. Like that's
because when I saw that, I was like, this has to be fake. Like, I mean, it's like I said, this is messed up. Like, he should not. This is a red flag right here. Whether this is real or not, this is not a topic that should be taken the way it was taken. But I was a little like, this has like a 90% chance of being fake. But honestly, it doesn't really matter because he already disrespected the culture with his other Japan videos anyway. Right.
Yeah, the whole suicide forest thing, like that, you could kind of chalk that up as just a really stupid mistake on his end. But, you know, he didn't cause anything. He was just there filming it, as opposed to the other videos of him in Japan as him completely causing everything that he's doing.
Right. It's like, I've been to Canada, Mexico, and Dominican Republic. Those are the only other countries I've ever been to. I don't, you know, ever disrespect the culture. You know, I kind of treat it like I'm at home. You know, just be yourself. And if there's like anything that's kind of out of the blue, just don't like make fun of it or don't disrespect anyone because it's insulting.
Right. And I think really the big thing is that, you know, the way he was acting was, that's not even acceptable in America. So you can't even use the excuse that, you know, it's just always, he's not used to this other culture. It's because things are different in America or whatever. If you were running around the streets of New York City throwing Pokeballs at cars and people like that, you know, it would...
You'd get arrested.
Exactly.
That's the first thing. You would get straight up arrested. You don't mess with the NYPD. I would know.
Yeah. Yeah, so you...
I mean, not that I've been arrested, but, you know.
Is that a story there?
No.
Okay.
I'm just saying the NYPD, you know, they're not, I don't have anything against police. I respect them. I support the police. But, you know, there are police that I think are really good, but some that overstep their boundaries. And
yeah,
I think sometimes the NYPD can overstep their boundaries, but it's only depending on like the neighborhood that you're in.
Yeah, and you know, the thing is, New York is a very heavily populated city, and so there's a very large police force there. So, of course, if it's just more likely that you're going to have a bad cop in the NYPD.
Yeah, I live on Long Island, so we don't really get that often. Our cops are pretty nice, you know, because nothing really major happens here on Long Island. To be honest, the only like really gruesome thing I could ever think that's happened on this island is the Amityville murders. That's it.
Yeah.
Which many people would probably know because there's movies on it. The Amityville, you know, the Amityville horror.
Yeah.
So I've actually visited that house, like not gone in it. I've like drove past it. I get some weird vibes going past that house.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't want to go into a whole thing like ghosts exist, but I'm one of those people who kind of is kind of convinced that there's some kind of spiritual energy somehow, somewhere, because I just kind of feel it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not personally. I don't personally believe that kind of stuff, but I do definitely not like to think about it in the dark, I guess.
Yeah, like those feelings of being watched. You know, I always kind of feel like it's the spirits, and I hope to God it's not like either someone who lived. Wait, did I go out for a sec? Because my computer just went black. But I'm back.
No.
Okay, but yeah, you get what I mean.
Yeah. Oh, maybe it's just a ghost messing with you.
Toast. Ooh, boo. I love that moment in SpongeBob when they cut the paddle ball and there's just a few seconds of silence and then they're just like boo.
Yeah.
That's been done in edits so much and it's been done so well because they'll be like they'll have that moment and they'll replace the boo moment with like Jack Black going like I'm gonna fuck you.
Yeah. Shoot, that kind
this conversation just got a little weird.
Yeah.
I'd actually like to ask you guys, what are your opinions on edits?
I think there's really good potential for really good comedy, and I think sometimes less is more. And I was actually considering at one point doing some sort of a collab based around that edits.
Yeah. What about you, Logan?
I'm not really too sure how I feel because I don't really watch them that. I've watched a few. I mean, like, honestly, all the memes is probably why I thought the bet edited was funny. I don't know if it's really that it was funny or just all the memes came out of it.
The bet edited was like just like there's something about it, like the way that it's paced and the way that it's like there's certain pauses after lines that just make it funnier. Like, smell that, Josh? Smells like a shit.
Yeah.
But, like I like edits like that where it's like kind of imperfect. And also
yeah,
I consider myself a fan of edits. I mean, they can get a little boring after a while, but I like it when editors start to add like other like replacements from like other shows or things like that. Like they don't always just use the same things like the Tenacious D lines or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of like, I'm not going to say like I'm heavily involved in the editing community. I've made a couple myself with like Gaming Cat and I made like one by myself. But
yeah.
I do know people from the editing community. Like I'm friends with Rock Orange Edits and I've talked with like Super Idiot Man and I am in a Discord server with a bunch of editors, but I don't really go on it. I mean, it's nothing against them. I just don't really have a whole lot of time, and I do own the big ass porn server, so that's the server that I kind of spend the most time on because that's my server. And also for anyone listening, I shouldn't have probably mentioned the big ass porn server because it's kind of an exclusive club. It's not like an open community thing. So I don't know. So anyone watching, if you want to join, don't. You're not going to join. That's it. It's not an open community server.
Okay, so what you're saying is everybody who's already in it they're the only ones that are going to be.
Pretty much, unless there's like it's a club for YouTube poopers, but I'm not saying it's a popularity club, but it's kind of like they have to kind of have a little bit of an audience first before they can join.
Mm-hmm. You know what? One thing about edited videos that I only just recently remembered, but I do remember coming across an edited video on YouTube before I even came across YouTube Poop. I didn't watch it, though, because I don't know if you remember, there was a time on YouTube, I don't know if you were using YouTube in like 2008, but there was a time when you'd look up videos and then, the search results was pretty similar to the way it is now with like the thumbnail like on the left-hand side of the screen or whatever, and then the description on the right-hand side, but then it would also show the tags as well.
Right, yeah.
And I just remember seeing it was like the Bully edited. I actually just looked it up recently, and it's still up there actually from like 11 years ago.
Yeah, I remember that.
I just remember I didn't watch it though because like the tags had stuff like rape and child molestation and stuff like that.
But yeah, I've been watching YouTube since 2008. That's actually I think the year I started watching YouTube, not YouTube Poop. I didn't discover edits in YouTube Poop until like 2010. So when I first started watching YouTube, I was watching like the first thing that drew me to YouTube, kind of ironically, I guess you could say, was Fred because he was on iCarly.
Yeah.
And I was a big fan of iCarly and Drake and Josh back in the day. So he was on, iCarly. And I was like, who is this guy? He's actually pretty funny. Now he's kind of annoying. But, at the time, I was just, a little kid. I thought everything was hilarious. So I was like, oh, look him up. And, then I kind of got into Fred. And then I discovered, like, Smosh and The Annoying Orange and things like that. So,
I actually... I think it was actually just earlier this morning, or maybe it was yesterday, I tweeted out, I found an email from 2008. I remember Fred actually commented on my channel.
I saw that.
Why? And he just for those who are listening, he just put like a smiley face in the comments. And I still, to this day, am not 100% sure why. The best answer I can think of is, YouTube used to have, I forget if they called them awards or honors, one of the two, but it'd be like number 5 most viewed videos of the month or whatever, stuff like that. And I remember Fred had it was his Thanksgiving video, and it was had the spot of the number 2 most commented video from the month, and I was trying to get it up to number 1, and so I would go on there like every day and reply to every single comment that I could find, and like I'd reply to hate comments and make fun of them or whatever, stuff like that, just basically troll everybody in the comments section.
Oh yeah, you were talking about that, right? Like you were like, I feel kind of like a jerk for doing that.
No, that's slightly different. I'll get to that in just a minute, but like I would go to the comments section on his Thanksgiving video and reply to every single comment, and I think that's why he commented on my channel, because he did that like kind of after I was doing all that, and so that's my best guess is that he saw me replying to hate comments and stuff like that. But then
I actually continue. Sorry.
I was just gonna say then after he commented, I would go onto his channel every day and comment. Fred commented on my channel, and just to get people to come view my channel, and I did get people to subscribe. And I got one person, I remember I had to block him because for some reason he refused to believe that I wasn't related to Fred. I don't know what that was about, but I had to block him because I couldn't convince him that I didn't know him.
What? I mean,
yeah.
I would like understand like if people were like convinced that if they were like if they were messaging you saying like you're like, so you were trying to convince him that you weren't related to him.
Right. Yeah. Because he commented something like, wow, Fred commented on your channel. Are you related to him or something? And I just replied back, no, I'm not related to him or whatever. And he would refuse to believe that I wasn't related to him because he commented on my channel. So I guess that means that I was related to Fred.
It's like, that sounds like something Invader Zim would do. Like he's just like, yeah,
I haven't seen
lies, the Earth Boy lies.
I actually haven't seen Invader Zim.
Really?
Really? I've been meaning to.
You haven't seen it either, Logan?
Nope.
Only ever.
Growing up, we didn't have cable. We literally had like a 3-foot tall antenna that would sit on top of the roof, and we'd have to spin it to get in different channels, and we could get in like 3 channels.
I didn't hear about Invader Zim until back in like 2013 when I was watching, and there was like this source is from this. I clicked it, and it was a clip from Invader Zim.
I love that shit. Like it was. I have the whole series on DVD. Gurr is like, I have a Gurr shirt, I have a Gurr keychain, I have a Gurr plush toy. I have like a bunch of Gurr related memorabilia. Like he's literally, I think him, like, what do you call them? Like comic relief characters, like the really dumb characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like one of my favorite comic relief characters ever. The other ones probably being like Patrick and Ed. From Ed, and Eddy.
Okay.
And Patrick from SpongeBob.
Yeah, that's one of the shows that I'm definitely gonna get around to watching eventually. You know, I've kind of.
It has so many good like, I guess you could call them memes because they were like they were memed a lot back in the early days of YouTube. Like "It's me! I was the turkey all along."
Yeah.
It's such a random moment. I love shows that do that. They don't take themselves too seriously.
Yeah.
But I want to make another Zim poop because I made one where it was an episode where Zim wasn't even in the episode.
Mm-hmm.
That might be like one of the poops I might mention at the end, but that's yet to be determined. So we'll move on.
Okay.
All right. So. How did this lead into Invader Zim? Oh yeah, we were talking about like Fred and
right.
Like, early YouTube.
Yeah.
I was actually gonna say I didn't know about any of that story. The fact that Fred commented on the channel.
You're really cutting out, Logan.
I heard what he said. He's like, you didn't know about the story?
Other than the fact that Fred commented on his channel, no.
I
didn't know about any of that, how it happened or whatever, what happened afterward. I didn't know about any of that.
Yeah,
I think I can't remember if a like super well-known YouTuber has ever commented on my channel other than Emperor Lemon, who's like moderate, who at the time of the start of my channel was like, you know, popular in the YouTube poop community, but he's starting to make a bigger name for himself in just the internet community in general.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting because, like I said, I've been watching him for a long time. I think the first poop I ever saw from him was his Winnie the Pooh YouTube poop, which is like still one of my favorites by him because it has such a great moment where Pooh is like, "Was that one dash a shit or one dish?" Such a great moment.
You know, I really need to go back and rewatch a bunch of M. Lemon's older YTPs. I think I've only really seen as far back as like the Uncredibles.
Yeah, I mean... Oh, go.
I was just going to say, I've watched some of his older videos, but I don't know if I've watched.
I've watched a majority of all of his videos. I just want to say, like, I know a lot of people have had mixed reactions to like his newer videos. I think that they're very well edited. They're very well scripted. But I think there are a couple of videos like the YouTube's been on a downward spiral and the whole video he made on Logan Paul. I think those were really good in the beginning, but I think he kind of rambled on a little bit. But, you know, if Aaron's going to listen to this, you know, he'll probably understand my constructive criticism, but that doesn't mean I dislike his meme-related videos. I think he's actually doing a really great thing for the meme community, but I think, Aaron, if you're going to listen to this, I would recommend certain videos maybe you should cut back a little bit on.
I don't think he listens to this, so...
Well, he might. I mean, he does watch my channel. You know, doesn't like all... I mean, he doesn't, actually click the like button on all of my videos, but I know that he does watch a majority of my videos.
Well, I know,
as do I with his.
I know he watches at least... I know he's watched... it's been a while since he's liked one of my videos, but I know he does watch my videos as well. I don't think he listens to Poopcast. Or at least he's not subscribed and he's never commented or liked or whatever.
Right. I know he likes... I mean, the Zelda CDI Revisited was like his #1 of 2015.
Yeah.
I still can't believe I was like, I think #8 for Despicable Meme. I just want to comment on that saying, like, it's my most viewed and I'm very proud of like what I did. And I wasn't really ever expecting it to get as many views as it did. I'm not even really making money off of it because it has a copyright claim for music.
Uh-huh.
But the only reason I really still keep it up is for watch time and things like that. But looking back, I think it has a lot of cringe moments for me, like outdated memes or parts that really didn't make much sense to me. Not to say that YouTube poop doesn't have to make sense, but it at least has to have like a flow, like the joke kind of has to have a punchline.
Yeah.
Which is something I kind of learned throughout like the years.
Yeah, I know we've kind of... I'm pretty sure we mentioned this in an earlier episode, or at least I've mentioned this somewhere else, but I feel like most YouTube poopers are at least somewhat unhappy with their most viewed video, because I think there's something about when a video of yours gets a ton of views, you tend to become really critical of it, and you start to wonder why some of your better videos or your videos that you put more effort into don't get as many views.
Yeah, I mean, my most viewed videos are most of my older videos, which I'm not very proud of, especially this one Shrek video that I made that is probably, I would say, my worst video. I made it in like less than a week. It was rushed, and it literally had the same like jokes over and over again.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah,
and for any of you watching, do not watch it.
What's it called?
I am not saying.
Okay.
I will not say.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, I know my most viewed video is still Larry Man in the friggin' outer space, and I don't...
The first one?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's... I think I maybe mentioned this before, that I think that's probably like right about the middle in terms of the quality for my videos. Like, I don't think it's a great video, but I don't think it's a terrible video either. It's just kind of an okay video by my standards.
I mean, I liked it. I still like it, but I think the sequel is like 10 times better. The sequel's amazing. Yeah,
thanks. I know. I've got a couple comments on that one from people saying they didn't like it as much as the original, and I mean, I guess my style has changed a lot between the two of them. Like the original one was very slow with a lot more. Like the jokes all were very slow, I guess, as opposed to Larry Man Twice was much more fast paced and very joke heavy. So I guess I can kind of see that, but yeah, I think it's if you watch both of them back to back, it's pretty clear which one had more effort and time put into it.
Right. My favorite poop for you, if I had to choose, definitely Madame Blueberry poop. Like that was like, I know another one of your older videos, but I really love the moment where Madame Blueberry, Larry, be a beer and bring me some beer. Not gonna do it. Larry, I don't wanna. And she points the gun at him.
Yeah.
It's like, bring me my beer! Just a minute!
I
It
think
was so perfectly executed.
I think that's one of my. Well, there's a train going by in the background. I don't know if you can hear that. That's
Oh, I heard it.
uh,
I
that
like
that
trains.
that's my Madam Blueberry YTP. That was kind of one of my earlier ones where I think I started to kind of get good with my editing. I think a lot of them before that were just kind of mediocre, and then from that point on, I think that's when I kind of picked up with my editing quality.
Especially the joke, the Homestar Runner joke in the silly song, the cheat burger, like that. That was like, I haven't seen too many Homestar Runner references in YTPs. I know that there's one really good one by The Things One. Also, I want to something I want to say about The Things One. A lot of people thought that there was beef between the two of us. I've actually never talked to him. He's never really made an attempt to talk to me. We don't, as far as I know, I don't think he dislikes me, but I'm not exactly sure. I don't really see why, except for the fact that I kind of made fun of him in some videos that I've made. But that was really because there used to be a running joke in my early videos where I made fun of sauce jokes. I never disliked sauce. It's just it's overused. It gets really boring. But there are moments where it could be done really well, like in Larry, for instance, like the out of sauce. Not again.
Yeah, I just need to point out you're cutting out pretty bad right now. I don't know if it's probably on my end. I think every time we go on for a long time, it tends to get kind of laggy.
Is that going to affect the audio?
Yeah, it's gonna it'll be kind of difficult to hear what you were saying there. I could tell what you were saying, but it's
All right. Well, the point is, yeah. I don't hate sauce jokes. I don't hate the one. I don't think he hates me. I've actually been a big fan of him for a while. So.
Yeah, no, I don't think he hates you either.
Yeah.
Isn't he subscribed to you?
He was at one point, but then I made like a joke about that, where like. And I think after that he actually unsubscribed.
Well, he made his subscriptions private, so if you go into your subscribers, he won't show up because his subscriptions are private.
Oh, I see. So
yeah.
Maybe he is still subscribed. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like
I know my subscriptions are private, so probably means.
Yeah. For a good 6 or so months, I was like, I think. Noticed, his subscriptions are private now. Maybe that's why. Unless maybe you did. I don't know.
Right. I hope that there weren't too many other moments where I was cutting out.
No, you were just kind of cutting out there for a couple minutes or like a minute.
Yeah.
And Logan cut out for a pretty good chunk when he was saying back there, but I got what he was saying.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be too much of a problem.
Yeah. But as for right now, we're at almost at an hour. Do you want to go into the questions? We do usually get some good time out of the questions.
Yeah, but what led into that whole thing about where I was talking about sauce jokes? I forget.
I don't even remember.
Yeah, because I kind of rambled on that. I guess I kind of overdid it with the sauce.
Yeah.
You were
Yeah.
talking about most viewed videos, or was that a while ago?
Oh yeah.
We were talking about that. Then
I mentioned The Things One because of the Homestar video.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys saw it, but he made it for this panel he did at TrotCon.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
5 years ago. It's a great poop.
Yeah.
Wait, is it already 5 years old?
Yeah, it's like
Oh,
I
wow.
love the part where it's like ladies in sauce costumes. That sounds like everything I want to be a part of.
Yeah,
it was like one of those jokes.
Yeah, I really wish there were more Homestar Runner YouTube poops.
Were you ever gonna make one?
I want to. I have so many ideas that I don't think I'll ever be able to get around to making all of them.
And there's so many Homestar Runner cartoons, it's hard to just like pick one.
And on top of that, the humor in Homestar Runner is already so perfect that it's kind of difficult to mess with it.
Yeah, it's kind of like I tried to do that with Aqua Teen Hunger Force, because Adult Swim's humor is already very YTP-esque.
Uh-huh.
So that's a hard source to work with.
Yeah, actually I remember mentioning to Logan before that I think Aqua Teen Hunger Force reminds me a lot of Homestar Runner in terms of its style and humor.
Yeah, I think, speaking of Adult Swim, I think I've determined the one. I think you can make a poop out of any source, but the one source that can never be pooped is Tim and Eric Awesome Show, because it's already a YouTube poop, essentially.
Yeah, I haven't seen much from it, but from what I have seen, it's very strange.
Yeah, and it has actually like stutter loops and like they use like the vibrato effect sometimes.
Uh-huh.
It almost seems like it's made in Vegas.
That was the show that did the Room parody with Tommy Wiseau, right?
Yeah, Tommy Wiseau actually directed an episode of it.
Yeah, because I remember that the ending of that one was very YouTube poop-esque.
Yeah,
I need to watch that show.
it's actually pretty bizarre, but once you get past some of the weirder moments,
I mean,
it's pretty funny because it feels like you're watching a YouTube poop.
Well, and also didn't Tim and Eric or somebody who like was a part of Tim and Eric, weren't they responsible for the Terry Crews Old Spice commercials?
I think Tim and Eric had something to do with it, but
Actually, I'm going to look that up quick. I'm pretty sure I remember hearing something about that.
yeah. Okay. So.
But yeah, I know another show that I think has it's very similar to YTP in terms of its style and sense of humor. Did you ever watch Mad from Cartoon Network?
Yeah, I mean, it was. I mean, I rewatched some episodes recently, but it was like, some things seemed kind of dated because they made fun of like popular movies at the time that no one remembers.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, that's also kind of similar to YouTube poop. When you watch older YouTube poops, they're kind of dated because they use memes and sources from that time.
Yeah, that's true, but it's definitely a product of its time. But it's not a bad show. But in a lot of ways, it's literally just Robot Chicken for kids.
Yeah. Although, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I honestly, I think it's funnier than Robot Chicken, personally.
It depends on the season for me, because depending on what season of Robot Chicken, I think both of them have their ups and downs.
Yeah.
I think Robot Chicken, at this point, it should just end, because it's kind of out of ideas at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, how long have they been going now? Over a decade? Something
Yeah,
like that?
they've been going for like 13 years. I think it's time for them to stop.
It's most shows, once they've been on for so long, they kind of tend to go downhill. Although I've heard that's kind of not the case with South Park. It kind of stayed good. Although
Now, South Park has been good for as long as it's been around. There's not really ever a bad season. Just some seasons are better than others, and it does have its cringe moments. But for the most part, South Park has been able to stay relevant for like 2 decades.
which is interesting because you look at other long running like The Simpsons, Family downhill.
Right.
And it's like, I mean, I haven't seen much from Modern Family Guy in terms of full, but I've seen enough clips to know I don't think I would like this.
Yeah, I mean, there's some good moments, but for the most part, it's just kind of like, it's there. But there was a point where I felt like, Family Guy, you need to end. You're just crap now. But I think right now they're like mediocre at best, but not like they're in the way of anything.
I guess I kind of feel the same way about Modern Simpsons. I kind of gave newer seasons a shot and watched some of the newer episodes. I'm like, this is just so incredibly mediocre.
Yeah, I
It's
think
not bad.
Modern Simpsons is just mediocre, and I don't think there was ever a point where Simpsons was super cringe. It's just boring and mediocre now.
Which I guess, in all fairness, that is the pretty down from what.
Sorry, you're cutting out a bit.
Yeah, I can't really hear what you're saying, Logan.
Well, what was the last thing you heard me say?
I couldn't make that out.
Yeah.
Is it cutting out that bad?
Yeah, it was.
It's
good. It's good now?
Yeah, it's okay now.
Okay, all I said was, to be fair, mediocre is a pretty significant step down from what The Simpsons was originally.
Yeah, I mean, they were good for a long time, and there's not really... Even for the modern episodes, there aren't really a whole lot of bad ones.
The only one I hear people, the fan base seems to agree on in its entirety is that it's bad as a bad episode is Lisa Goes Gaga.
Oh, it's offensive. It's just it's literally probably, not only is it the worst Simpsons episode, it's one of the worst episodes of any television show in history. Like, oh, wow. I could say that straight up. I've seen it. I've actually watched it purposely like 3 times to literally to convince myself, like, this is actually as bad as I think it is.
Oh no.
It's bad.
Oh wow. I'm scared to ever watch that episode now.
The fact is, after watching it 3 times, you feel dirty. Like, it gets worse after every watch.
Oh.
Like, you just feel like you want to take a bleach shower after it. It's torture almost. And that's sad because, to be honest, even though I'm not, it's pretty obvious. I just, I mentioned before I'm into extremely heavy music. I'm not a pop fan, but I do have some respect for Lady Gaga. I do like her stage performance, and some of her songs are pretty catchy, but no. Like, it's just something about that episode that just made Lisa, who looks like a very intelligent character, and just made her, like, all the character development that made her what she is like thrown down the toilet with that episode. Mm. It's really sad because Lisa is a at times annoying but very intelligent and well developed character.
What season was that? Was that like 23?
I think it was 23 or 22, if I remember correctly.
Wasn't that the same season where they were considering ending the show? I
think, but
just imagine if they would have ended it there. And one of the last episodes is one of the worst, if not the worst episode in the series.
If they're going to end, they need to end on a strong note. That's all I have to say.
The only problem with that, though, is that every time there's a TV show like that where they going to end on a high note, when they have that one episode that's a really good episode, everybody loves it, the ratings are really good, so they decide to keep going.
That's true.
So I'm pretty sure that's happened with The Simpsons before, hasn't it? Like, they've wanted to end it like a couple different times, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Next year, I was just going to say, next year is going to be the 30th anniversary of the series. I think after 30 years, it's time. They should just put the show out of its misery.
It's time.
They should just make one more movie, just focus all their time and energy into making one more really good movie. I mean, they've only made one, but you know what I mean. Make a
Even
really
if it's
good
made
sequel.
for TV.
Yeah.
Even if it's made for TV.
Yeah.
So it's now, we kind of rambled on a bit. Question time?
Yeah, I guess we'll get into those then.
Yeah, I mean, I still have plenty of time left. I mean, I kind of need to get to the theater by like 7, but I have plenty of time. Like, I can leave at around 6:30.
All right.
The show doesn't start till 7:30.
All right.
So.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, we do typically get at least a good 20 minutes or so out of the questions. So I guess it depends on how good the questions are people left. So starting with Twitter, We have Schaeferless Productions asks...
Oh, hey, what's up? I like your videos. You're really good.
He asks, how did you meet Emp Lemon in real life?
Ooh, that's a really good question. That has a long story. Okay, so let's go back to 2015. Emp Lemon announces the Spingebill Collection 2, and I made an entry for it, and he really enjoyed it. And then I started to get more recognition and popularity after Despicable Meme came out, and he started to he became like a fan of my channel, and he really liked it. And then I got invited to a Skype chat with him and a bunch of other popular YouTube poopers in what was kind of don't want to necessarily call it a failed experiment, but we don't really do anything with it anymore. It was the New World Order of YouTube poop that we made like two or so collabs with. Mm-hmm. So we really don't do anything with that anymore. I mean, we all still kind of keep in touch, but the point is, I was going to play Team Fortress 2 one day, and I went into the Skype chat to see if anyone else wanted to play with me, and he said yes, and I was like, oh my god, it's Emperor Lemon, he's going to play Team Fortress 2 with me. And so we played, we chatted, we got to know each other, and I was like, we found out, oh, we like a lot of the same stuff. So then after that, we started doing calls again, and we became like really good friends, and then he went on a class field trip to New York, because I think he's in some kind of honors program when he was in high school, and we met up at Grand Central Station, and then later we went back to the hotel that his class was staying at, and we watched YouTube poop in the lobby, and a bunch of people looked at us and was like, what is wrong with these kids? But yeah, that's how we met. It was just a class field trip, and funny story about, I think it was last summer, 2017. He came back to New York again, like with his own money, because he wanted to visit another friend up here, and he asked if he could crash at my place for a couple days, and so we hung out over the summer for like 4 days. He slept over at my house. We did a bunch of stuff. We saw Captain Underpants together, actually.
Okay.
And yeah, we've become really good friends. So it was almost like a dream come true. Like a huge inspiration is like one of my closest friends now.
Yeah. So what's that like then, meeting somebody that you've only known online than meeting them in real life?
It's weird, especially for the fact that when I first met him, he had only recently done his face reveal, like during his 100 sub special. Yeah. And I was like, that's what he looks like? So, and not that I thought he was like ugly or anything like that, but right. It's like I kind of expected him to look a little different than that. Uh-huh. So,
yeah, I imagine that's I mean, it's weird enough going from just talking to people through text to actually talking to them like over Skype or Discord or whatever, but I imagine it's a whole nother step up to actually meet them in person.
Right, because all that's in my mind is Admiral Akbar, you know?
Yeah.
That's the voice. It's Admiral Akbar, but with a different person's voice. That's all that's in my head for the longest time.
Yeah, I know. I still do that for the majority of the YouTube poopers that I watch who don't show their face, or they don't have their face in the thumbnail or their profile pictures. I tend to think of them as their profile picture.
Exactly. Like Dmitry Petrov is like a good example. Like I've talked with him several times, but I don't even really know his real name. His real name isn't Dmitry.
Yeah.
But I've never seen his face. I've only heard his voice.
The
picture that I associate with him is the Game Boy camera face.
Yeah. I don't think I've even heard his voice before.
He made a Q&A a while ago, but he took it down.
Okay.
But he's got a pretty average voice.
Were you going to say something, Logan?
Actually, wait a minute. No, didn't he tweet a video, now that I think about it, where it was like Jeremy Rape or something. I don't know. It's not his actual name, but that's what he said. Like, didn't he tweet a video one time? Like
I
on
wouldn't
Twitter?
know. I'm not on Twitter, but I heard he's on Twitter a lot.
Yeah, I actually had to unfollow him because there was one day where he was, I tend to try to read every tweet from everybody that I'm following, and he was on Twitter retweeting. I think he must have been retweeting every single thing he came across, because it was like every single minute there was a new retweet from Dmitry Petrov in my Twitter feed, and so I finally, and like they were just tweets and stuff that made no sense. They didn't have any context or anything like that, and so I just unfollowed him, and I haven't refollowed him since.
I am going to guess and say he was high that night.
That's what I was thinking.
He is known for getting stoned to make his videos.
Yeah.
And there was a time when we played Gary's mod, and he got high out of his mind.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
That's what I was thinking, because it was like 5 a.m. or 4 a.m., something like that. Kind of like
he doesn't even sleep that much either.
Yeah.
See,
he's an interesting person, but he's a fun guy to talk to.
Yeah, I wonder if he'd ever consider being on Poopcast.
You should ask him, or maybe I could send you his profile. But anyway, I think we talked about that enough. What's the next question?
All right, next question is from Oface Studios, who asks, "Is Plank watching you?"
Yeah, he is actually right behind me right now. I actually made this Plank replica when I was in 6th grade, I think.
Okay.
And yeah, it's Plank from Ed, and Eddy. And I made a video about that, where he was in the background. But yeah, he's always watching me, and it's kind of creepy at times.
Okay, so maybe it's not a ghost you have. It's just Plank.
It's just Plank.
Or maybe Plank is a ghost.
What coincidence! We were just talking about Dmitry.
What? You cut out, Logan.
Am I good now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What were you saying?
I said, what a coincidence that we were just talking to Dmitry. I just got a notification on Steam that he's playing a game.
He's always playing a game. It's usually either just Vegas, Modern Warfare 3, or Gary's mod.
I just thought that was kind of funny how that happened right after we were talking.
Okay.
All right, next question.
Next one. This is, I don't even know what to make of this question. It's from Levi Peabody, who asks, "What do you think about the film The Secret of Kells?"
Never seen it. Don't have an opinion on it. Next question.
Yeah,
I
same
don't
here.
know what it is, so.
Yeah. Okay. Next one is from Chemic Advance, who asks, Do any of you imagine that you'll still be making YTPs when you grow into old men?"
No, I don't think so. But I can't really imagine when I would decide to retire. I just want to keep going until I have nothing left. That's really it.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'd love to be able to make YouTube poops just to keep doing it until the day I die, but realistically speaking, I'm probably going to get burnt out in probably sooner than I think even. I still love it now. I'm not considering retiring or anything, but I know for sure I'm eventually going to get sick of it.
Yeah, and I'll let Logan go.
Okay.
I was just going to say, in a couple of weeks, I'll have been doing this for half a decade, which is, I don't think I thought I would be doing it for that, so who knows?
I never thought I'd be doing it 3 years. I thought it was just going to be some experiment, get a couple subscribers, and that would be it. But once I got popular, I just kept going with it.
Yeah, kind of same with me. That's why I just named my channel Jimmy Davis, because I didn't think I was going to do much with it. I originally wanted to join Logan's channel and have us kind of share that channel, but he didn't want to do that, so I made my own channel.
We could be like Chemistry Guy, who was making YouTube poops actually when he was already old. He was in his 30s when he started, and now he's in his 40s, has a family and everything.
Yeah, or isn't Noise Puppet in his 50s?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Noise Puppet. Stuart K. Riley is I don't know how old he is, but
he's young. He's only a couple of years older than me.
Yeah, but and then Walrus Guy is probably he's older now.
Yeah.
But
Okay, then the last Twitter question. We asked for questions and conversation topics. Heron Likes says, talk about the boring flamethrower thing. I don't even know what that means.
is he referring to the part in Despicable meme where there's a flamethrower?
He might be, although I guess there's also, I heard something of, I think it's, who is it, Elon Musk is selling flamethrowers for really cheap right now for some weird reason. That might be it.
What?
I don't even know what to say.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's all the Twitter questions?
Yeah, there's only a few of them, but then there's 22 comments on the YouTube post, so...
Oh boy, this is going to be interesting.
What were you going to say, Logan?
I don't think anybody in my server actually went to the tweet and replied, should I go in there?
Kick everyone from your server, then. They don't deserve to be there.
just go in and type, fuck you all.
Yes.
I'm deleting this server now.
Yes.
I'm not
Okay.
actually-
Onto YouTube, then. Steven Marana, I don't know how to pronounce that last name, asks, who has a better downward spiral, you or Emplemon?
I only started following it because he's a friend, and everyone was kind of making fun of the whole downward spiral meme that he made. I just kind of followed along with it because my definition of what the downward spiral means is that it's not necessarily it's not necessarily a bad thing. But if we're talking in meme culture, it's realizing to the point where you have to make the content you want to make and not to make the content that people want to see. I mean, you should probably cater to people with some requests, but at the end of the day, you just got to make what you want to make. And Despicable Meme 2, when I made it, that's the turning point for me because I honestly didn't want to make that video, but it was such a popular part of my channel that it almost deserved the sequel. So I kept putting it off because I really just didn't want to make it, and that's why it took a year to make it. I mean, the editing process would have taken a month easily if I had actually worked on it, but I just kept putting it off.
Yeah. Okay. Next question comes from the King, who asks, why did you delete some of your older videos on your channel?
What? I never deleted any videos on my channel or older videos.
Okay.
Some videos might have gotten copyrighted. This Nut Shack and We're Number One video got taken down, but I haven't made any attempt to re-upload them because they're kind of outdated. Oh.
Yeah. I don't know. That might just be one of those random comment things like we were talking about before we started recording.
Yeah, I never really deleted videos off my channel.
Okay. He also asks, will you take $1 on a fishing pole if it's hovering in front of you?
Okay, is this a reference to the Nirvana album cover? And am I in a swimming pool naked as a baby?
They didn't specify that, but if that's what you prefer, then okay.
Well, I guess if I was a naked baby in a swimming pool, I would, but under other circumstances, if it depends on how much money we're talking about. If it's just a single dollar, maybe, but I don't think I'd want to waste my energy running after it.
Well, if I were a naked baby in a swimming pool with $1 in front of me, I think I'd be more concerned about not drowning than getting the $1.
Well, never mind. Well, that's the...
What about you, Logan?
If I don't know. If I was a naked baby in a swimming pool?
That's not the question, but that's kind of what it became.
If I was a naked baby in a swimming pool, I wouldn't know how to swim and I'd die.
That's okay. That's fair. All right.
It's getting weird,
How many
dude.
babies swim?
Okay.
It's like that old joke, what's worse than a swimming pool full of dead babies? All right, we're not going there. Moving on.
All right, then the King has one more question, and then I'm gonna ask that one, but then move on to the next question right after that one. from Twister TH because it's somewhat related. The king asks, "Do you know the way?" Which then Twister TH says for a conversation topic to talk about memes that started this year, like Uganda Knuckles, Steamed Hams, and Logan Paul.
Okay. First of all, no, I do not know the way.
Okay.
But what was the question? What is my opinion on the new memes?
Just said to talk about memes from this year, from 2018.
Okay, well, first, I didn't like Uganda Knuckles at first because it looked really stupid, but once I kind of started to, because my opinion was really biased because I didn't bother to watch the videos, but once I started to watch them, I was like, it's not terrible, but it's, it's not great, but it's still funny.
Yeah, I think, who was that? I think, Logan, you liked the video from, I forget who it was, but, basically just sums it up as, it's funny because of the way the character looks. That's why the meme is funny.
I don't remember that.
Was that like Elvis the Alien or something like that?
I don't think I watched his video on it. I haven't really been paying attention to that meme on it.
Oh, really?
I don't really have an opinion on the Ugandan Knuckles meme because I haven't really been paying attention to it. I think it's funny how much people hate it though, because I really don't see any reason to hate it. Because
I know.
What?
Trudermark for some reason really doesn't seem to like that meme, and he seems to like every meme.
Yeah, Trudermark. You know what's interesting about Trudermark? He's a clean YouTube pooper, but he gets really dirty on Facebook. Like if you see his Facebook posts, he gets like not like nasty in a like super offensive or like cringy way, but he just gets like really dirty sometimes on Facebook.
Yeah, well, I mean, in his Christmas YouTube poop, if I'm not mistaken, he had a couple uncensored F-bombs.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, it was Grandma Dies by a Reindeer 2.0.
Did I see that? I saw the original. I didn't see the new one.
Okay,
I think that's what it was called.
It's pretty similar. If you've seen the original, you're not really missing out on not seeing the version 2.0, but it's
I think he's just kind of decided, like, as he started back when he was like a little kid, so I think that was like a reason for making clean videos. But I think now that he's an adult, I think he could just do whatever he wants. And if he starts to make videos like that, as long as it doesn't stray too far away from the style that he's known for, I think I'd be okay with hearing a couple dirty jokes here and there,
Yeah, it's kind of like for me, I've kind of shifted gears a little bit. Like, I mean, especially when you look at when I first started, I don't really care that much about dirty jokes or profanity that much anymore.
Yeah, but it started to lessen up a bit. I've seen, but it's not like you've really forgotten what you were, what your style is, and that's a great thing.
Yeah.
I think I finally decided, like, actually, in the video, it's still unlisted because it's for a collab. It won't be seen for a little while longer, but I've finally decided I'm just going to leave the swear words uncensored because I just don't care. I don't give a fuck. Because I'm just sitting there thinking, it's like, I mean, I'm not offended by swearing. And it's like the joke isn't much different if it's uncensored. Why bother? So I think I've finally decided from here on out I'm just going to leave censored just because I don't see a reason.
Right.
Sometimes I would actually sentence mix it and leave it uncensored and be like, this sounds funny, but people expect me to censor the swear words because I always have, so I would censor it anyway. But it's like recently I've started to realize what's the point.
Yeah. Right. It's whatevs. But what's the next question?
Okay, it's the king back again.
Why is it always the king?
I have no idea. He says, also ask him if he watches SMG4.
I do, actually. I don't really think that, like, I mean, his videos aren't, like, absolutely great. I enjoy his content, and he does have a lot of, like, tropes and cliches that are overused a lot. And, it's almost used in, like, every one of his videos, like a certain voice clip or something like that. Mm-hmm. But I think he's still good, and at one point, because he uses like those new characters like Fishy Boopkins and Bob. Like at one point, I thought like, oh, is he gonna do what Super Mario Logan did, where he's gonna like have those like as like the main focus, like Jeffy or whatever? But they're not exactly the main focus, and I find them pretty funny to most of the time. So,
Okay.
you know.
Yeah, I've heard the name thrown around SMG4, but I've never actually watched any of their videos before. I don't even know what they are, honestly.
They're just like Mario, like machinimas, like those old videos of like Super Mario 64, like,
Okay.
along those lines.
Okay, actually, you know what? Maybe I did watch one of those one time.
I don't know if it was by him, but I do remember years ago, like back in like 2013. I don't even remember what the video was or watched it. Like plate of spaghetti. It was like running away from Mario screaming. Mario runs at it and says, "I'm going to rape you."
That sounds like SMG4. If it's like I'm going to rape you, that sounds like SMG4.
Okay.
Okay, so that's like the only video I've watched, and it was years apart. I remember.
Yeah.
You're really cutting out, Logan.
Yeah.
I'm what?
Really
You're
cutting
cutting
out.
out.
We're almost done. I think it is probably just my computer. I've been last week or so been really editing my favorite YTPs of 2017 list, and I think that's kind of taking a toll on my computer. Got finished editing it today. Going to get it rendering later on, but anyway.
Okay, cool. Next question.
Robert Earp asks, "Is Santa real?"
Okay, if Santa, that's the question. And
Santa ain't real, so grow the hell up.
I was gonna say, yeah. Look, I was gonna say those kids watching. I can't really answer.
For the kids watching, go the fuck away. You're not supposed to be here.
Exactly. You're not supposed to be watching this. But yeah, Santa's not real.
Yeah.
I think in some ways he's real with the holiday spirit, if you believe in that. Like the
Santa.
Gift giving is the existence of Santa, in my opinion.
Santa's realized.
What?
Santa with teeth?
He's real. I saw him yesterday. You give me free candy, and I have no idea where this is going anymore.
I have no idea where it's going either because you keep cutting out and I can't hear you.
I get that he's supposed to try to rape you or something, but let's move away from Santa Claus and go to the next question, shall we?
Okay. You're both really lagging for me. Hopefully that doesn't last too long. It only lasted like a minute last time, but
I'm not lagging too much, am I?
You were for a little bit, but it sounds like you're clearing up now.
Okay, good.
All right. Miles Prower 543 asks, "What is your opinion on the Odd Ones Out?"
He makes good videos.
What are Odd Ones Out?
Oh, you've never seen the Odd Ones Out?
I don't think so.
He's I guess he's a relatively newer YouTube. Well, I guess he's maybe not necessarily new to YouTube, but he's just recently gained a lot of popularity. He's like does like those animated story type of videos, but they're actually really entertaining.
Oh, that guy. Yeah. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I've seen like one or two of his videos.
Okay.
It's okay, I guess. Don't really have much to say.
I really like his I really like his second channel because it's mostly like a shitpost type channel. He seems to have the type of sense of humor where I'm pretty sure he'd be into YouTube poops. I know he showed a YTPMV at the beginning of one of his videos.
Right.
But yeah, I really like his videos. I've been meaning to make a YouTube poop of his videos. I just haven't really had the time to.
Yeah, when I first found his channel, I spent that entire day marathoning every single from oldest to newest.
So that must be a little painful to marathon YouTube videos. I mean, I would know it takes a lot out of you.
I don't know. I for me, it's just like, how's it any different? Like, say you watch 5 hours of YouTube videos, any different from like playing 5 hours of video games.
Yeah, I guess you're right. But I felt like I binged on like McJuggernuggets once, like all of the main Psycho series videos, and I felt a little beat after that because I think towards the end it got kind of like weird. I mean, it was obvious that it was fake from the beginning, but it got like just really weird like towards the end of the series.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I well, actually, I guess I pretty much just watch YouTube videos all the time when I'm not at work, so...
Yeah, that's another thing, is I already watch a lot of YouTube videos, so it doesn't really seem that weird to me to sit there and watch like 5 hours of YouTube videos.
Yeah, I guess. Any more?
Yeah. Next one is from yours truly, Chris, who asks, why is the sad Sabu sad?
Oh, that's a really good question that I've been trying to figure out since I was a little kid. I've
His
also been
family
trying to
died.
figure out if the canoe is wood or aluminum,
Yeah.
or if the boy got injured, or if the mute Sabu was able to tell the other passengers of the imminent danger.
You know, that'd be really interesting to see somebody go in depth and try to make like a whole theory about that whole little story and try to make sense of everything.
You know what? I mentioned before I was going to do a Josh and the Big Wall YouTube poop, so that question will be answered if I ever get around to finishing it. I will do a backstory on the sad Sabu.
Nice. I guess we'll finally find out. All right. Next one comes from CringeFire9, who asks, "Is Daniel T Gaming thick?" I don't know who that is.
No answer. No answer.
Who is that?
I don't know.
No answer. Don't know who that is. Next question.
Okay. Next one comes from Jeff the Meme Guy, who says, "Ask him about memes," and memes is in all caps. I think he likes memes.
Okay. We already talked about Uganda Knuckles, but I wanted to say something about steamed hams. It's probably my favorite meme of this year so far, because it was already funny last year, and it just almost like keeps getting funnier. Like I never really get tired of it because it's already been in the meme circuit for like a year now, and it's reached its height.
Yeah.
I still need to finish my YouTube poop of it. I started on it and then I just like kind of put it off.
Yeah, I want to make a steamed hams video. I just don't really have any particular like ideas. I don't think I'm gonna do a YouTube poop. I'm probably gonna do some weird, obscure thing with it if I ever do it.
Yeah, I think it's there's already been a lot of stuff done with it, so I think that'd be kind of tricky. But I know one of the writers for that episode actually tweeted out the script for that segment, and said tweeted out with the tweet said steamed hams, but it's the original script for the episode or whatever. So that's kind of it's always cool when somebody involved with a certain meme acknowledges the meme.
Also, I don't really ever recall hearing steamed hams until Emperor Lemon mentioned it in Ascended.
Uh-huh.
But I don't think he started that meme. But that's what I remember. So I thought at one point it was like, oh, that was a meme that was started by Aaron, but I don't think it was. I think it was like a Reddit meme before.
Yeah,
it Ascended.
I think he might have just kind of got on board like right at the beginning, and so he was kind of like one of the earlier YouTubers. Because it seemed like he mentioned it, and then it seemed like it didn't really become a meme on YouTube much for like another couple of months or so.
Right. To be honest, I haven't really been keeping up with the memes lately. That's mostly because, I always got my meme, what was popular in meme culture from That Is the Plan, but he's Anthony Fantano has defunct the channel, and I have no respect for Behind the Meme, nor did I ever enjoy his content before that, and I'm sorry to say PewDiePie's meme review channel, meme review series isn't really that great either.
Well, I'm pretty sure that's more of just supposed to be like a joke, more of just kind of
Yeah, I mean, it's not like complete normie trash or anything like that. It's not really that great.
Yeah.
I don't consider Pewds a normie. I never really did. I think he's always kind of been a step above that. But
Yeah.
he has done some stupid things in the past. But I think he has apologized for that in a very sincere way.
Yeah. Yeah, I
know,
think that's kind of the, like what we were talking about with Logan Paul earlier about how time will tell if he's actually changed or not. I know with PewDiePie, whenever he makes a mistake, he does own up to it, and you really get the feeling that he's being sincere about it.
He does. He does change. And on top of that, he apologizes, but he also says it's not going to change the past. What was said has been said, and all I can do is just change as a person. And that's a really great thing.
Yeah. All right.
So memes done. Next question.
All right. This one's from Prince Parrot. Let me see. This is kind of a wordy one. Let me see if I can get this. Says, do you think YTPs should use titles advertising their gimmick, i.e., blank but blank, putting YTP in the title, for mass appeal, or do you think that compromises their charm?
Oh, do you mean like they could say something like Steam Hams, but every time there's like is that what he's trying to say? Like advertise a gimmick like that?
I think that's what he's getting at.
Unless that's the main point of the video, you can advertise it like that, but I don't think it should be advertised as a YouTube poop. Because I think there's something that differentiates those kinds of videos from YouTube poops. I think YouTube poops have a little bit more variety in editing. So,
yeah,
I guess to answer the question, no, I don't think YouTube poops should be. I don't think the every time someone says videos should be advertised as YouTube poop, nor should YouTube poop really be solely about that. So,
Like, whenever I upload my steamed hams, well, it's steamed hams, but whatever, I'm gonna come up with its own title.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm probably gonna go with the one that I have. I have the Vegas file is called Seymour Sees More Semen. I might just keep that.
Yeah.
That's a perfect title.
I know it with my my YouTube poop of it. I know I called it steamed hams, but it's edited like a classic YTP, mostly just because I couldn't come up with a good title for it.
Right.
And yeah, like I said, I do think I'm gonna do more videos along that lines of a meme, but it's edited like a classic YTP. But that's kind of it's still a YTP, but it's kind of like its own little mini series on my channel.
Like that's how I felt about Get Out of My Cock. I consider it a YouTube poop, but in like but almost to the point where it's not. Like it just has enough variety in editing to the point where it is a YouTube poop.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't explicitly put YouTube poop in the title, just because I wasn't exactly sure if it counted as a shit post or as a YouTube poop. But once it started to gain popularity, then I was like, okay, it's a YouTube poop, but I'm still not going to put it in the title.
Yeah. All right. Next one comes from Kyle4QO Morris, who asks, what do you think makes a YouTube poop a good YouTube poop? I'm pretty sure we got this question on an earlier episode of Poopcast, but
Yeah.
I guess you can give your opinion on that then.
It used to be kind of like back in the day, it was like, be original, but everything, YouTube poop isn't exactly like, it's always been an underground scene, but it's been around for such a long time to the point where a lot of things have already been done.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it comes down to, at this point, trying to be original, and if you're going to try to recycle old ideas, do it in a way that hasn't been done before. Make it feel fresh and new.
Yeah.
But a YouTube poop for me, I like fast-paced YouTube poops, but there are some good ones that are a little slow-paced. I think it's really, there's different varieties. There are certain types of poop that make what defines them good. Mm-hmm. But I think it's hard to define what a good YouTube poop is, but I think it's easier to define what a bad poop is, and that would be in this day and age, doing meme replacement as the main attraction of a poop, because that's been done to death and it's just boring at this point.
Yeah.
Or using Windows Movie Maker, or what's another good example? Or using your own voice, or using a webcam, or
I think also, for making a bad YouTube poop, I think also if it's like a really popular source, but it's clear that it was just used because it's a popular source, and it's just kind of a lot of very lazy editing that's kind of just like imitating what they've seen in other YouTube poops and not actually doing something that they wanted to make. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's kind of what happened with Frozen. Even number 1 back in the day wasn't that great. He's gotten really good now. I actually enjoy a lot of his newer videos.
Yeah.
Especially his Moana poop was so good.
Yeah.
He's definitely come a long way since the early days.
Yeah, I know. I have him on my his schlock YouTube poop. I put that on my favorite YouTube poops from 2017, and that was
I love that poop. It's so good.
Yeah, that was one of the things I mentioned was that I think a lot of people unfortunately still kind of think of him as back when he did the Frozen YouTube poop and don't realize that he's come a long way and he's actually a really good editor.
Yeah, he's very good.
Yeah,
I enjoy a lot of his newer videos.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, okay. Next question. I think this one I believe is supposed to be aimed at me. From Thorencraft asked, when is the next VeggieTales YTP coming out? I don't really have any VeggieTales YTPs planned at the moment. I think I'm kind of taking a break for that. Unless I do decide to do the 25th anniversary collab, then I'll obviously do something for that.
That'd be cool. I'd like to do that. But I would like to ask you, if you were to do another VeggieTales poop soon, like not counting the collab, what episode do you want to do?
I'm not entirely sure. There's still some older episodes that I haven't done yet, like Josh and the Big Wall or Dave and the Giant Pickle.
Dave and the Giant Pickle would be interesting.
Yeah, that's one I might consider doing. Or I did actually start a Esther YouTube poop a little while back last year, I think it was.
Esther is like the one episode. It's not bad at all, but it's like one of the least memorable ones for me.
Yeah,
I think I had it on videotape when I was a kid. I think I only watched it like once or twice.
Yeah,
and the ones that I watched the most were the Larry Boy ones. Those were my favorites.
Yeah, I know. Esther, as a kid, that was like the only one that I didn't really like, and I recently rewatched it, and I like it a lot more now as an adult. But I think the main reason I didn't like it as much as a kid is because it's much more cinematic than a lot of the other VeggieTales episodes. It's more story driven than it is comedy. And there's like the music is very different in that one. There's a narrator in that one that's like not a character or anything like that. Bob isn't even in the episode anywhere, and Larry is hardly in there at all. Yeah, I think that's why I didn't really like it as much as a kid. But
it's not bad though. I think it's I think it was a little bit of a. I'm not saying it was a bad decision to make the episode. I just think maybe they were just going for, instead of targeting preschoolers, they wanted to kind of target like older kids, like going into like late elementary school or middle school, like in that area.
Yeah.
With that episode, but it's not bad.
Yeah.
I liked it as a kid, but that's probably just because I liked anything VeggieTales as a kid.
Right. One of the things I will say about it, though, is the song that Heyman has with King Xerxes. That's one of in my opinion, one of the best early VeggieTales songs.
Right. I actually want to ask you this. I know you made a joke about this in Larry Man 2 about Larry Man 3. And I know you probably get tons of comments like, where's Larry Man 3? Like how I get, where's Despicable Meme 3? But if you were to do it, would it be on Larry Boy and the Bad Apple?
Yeah. Yeah, it would be that. I rewatched that one recently too as well, and that one has really not held up very well. That was after Phil Vischer kind of left from writing and stuff, and I think you can really tell if you look at like some of the older episodes, not like the really old, but like some of the older ones when it was kind of in its prime. I think it actually has some really funny jokes to it, and then after Phil Vischer left, it kind of just became more.
Yeah, for me, I think the downfall of the show came after the Pirates movie, which I actually think is very underrated. I actually really enjoy the film.
You know that the official VeggieTales account actually uploaded that full movie to YouTube a little while ago.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I was gonna download that and use it in YouTube for something. Watch it and then download it and make a wiki of it. An idea that I had. I've only seen the movie like twice, 2 or 3 times maybe.
I watched it a lot. I actually like it more than Jonah, to be honest.
You know, I actually. I didn't mean to interrupt. You can finish.
I had nothing else.
Okay.
No, I didn't have anything else to say.
Okay, I was just gonna say I don't think I've ever actually sat down and watched the full thing all the way through, because that kind of I forget what year that came out, but I know that was kind of when I was stopped watching VeggieTales a little bit at that point. I do remember though, like one of my very earliest YouTube memories was going onto YouTube to watch the trailer for the movie. Back when we had dial-up internet, so it took like 30 minutes to load the 2-minute trailer. But yeah, I from what I remember of it, I do remember liking it.
Yeah, it came out in 2008, and it's interesting you said that because, well, I don't really know. You know, I don't know anything about what your financial situation was at the time, but I never had dial-up growing up.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah, I think it was. You know, we were always very behind in terms of technology. You know, like I mentioned earlier, we didn't even have cable or anything like that. We didn't get high-speed wireless internet until 2008. Before that, we had a computer that I don't even know if it had more than a couple gigabytes of hard drive, and it didn't have hardly any RAM at all, and we just had dial-up internet. And like I said, you know, to watch a couple-minute-long YouTube video is going to take like a half an hour.
Well, technology's certainly come a long way.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you guys get the chance, definitely check out the pirate movie. I think it has some pretty good jokes in it. And I think it was kind of one of the last VeggieTales related things that was like very well written. Mm-hmm. But I looked on Rotten Tomatoes. It has like a very poor reception among critics, and not even really audience liked it that much. I thought it was great. Like for VeggieTales standards, it was very good.
Yeah.
But like as a Hollywood movie, it's nothing special. But for VeggieTales, it's one of their better moments.
Yeah. You know, one more final thing on VeggieTales that I do want to mention is, you know, I really, like this year I want to try to start doing like reviews and stuff, like movie, TV show, video game, you know, kind of like a PBG, JonTron, that sort of thing. And one of the ideas I had for a video was to do a big long video where I would like review every single VeggieTales episode, kind of like in the style of Doug Walker's Disney-cember. You know, I don't know if you watch Nostalgia Critic, but something like that.
I love Nostalgia Critic.
Okay, yeah, something like that where I just kind of briefly talk about the each episode and my thoughts on it, and just kind of go in chronological order. I think that could be a fun idea.
That'd be interesting. I'd like that. I'd like to see that.
Okay, moving on to the next question then. This is from AllX360, who asks, how do you feel YTP can improve over the next few years?
Okay, this was a point, I saw this on a Truder Mark post on Facebook. He kind of mentioned when YouTube poops rely heavily on memes, they tend to become very dated within a couple months. Mm-hmm. But case in point, going back to Emperor Lemon, but I rewatched, his Ascended videos, which all the memes that he used in like the third one, like We Are Number One, those are all outdated at this point.
Mhm.
But I think in the way that it's edited and the execution, it can still be funny after a while.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like, even like when I mentioned in the beginning, like her coasters or early dinner poops have their moments to this day.
Yeah, I know Emplemon's Ascended videos. I think I don't know if I mentioned this when I talked about his Ascended 3 on my favorite YTPs of 2016 list. But I do remember thinking that those videos they're different from regular YTPs in the sense that it's almost like
It's a meme compilation.
Yeah, it's like a time capsule. It's like almost like a YouTube Rewind except for memes, and that's
Right.
so it's different than just regular YouTube poop that has a ton of meme replacement stuff in it.
Of course.
And also, like YouTube Rewind, it's not garbage.
Yeah, true.
I honestly feel like I'm the only person who doesn't hate YouTube Rewind.
It's not terribly edited. I love the editing and everything. I think it's a really cool video.
Mm-hmm.
Despite all the people that I kind of despise that are in it.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I mean, in all honesty, I have watched the new Rewind. I liked it. I thought it was cool, but I disliked it in protest. I clicked the dislike button in protest, just against what YouTube has been doing to the community.
I remember I liked it from 2 channels in anti-protest, just because I'm a rebel.
You actually did that?
Yeah, I eventually unliked it from my other account, but I still have it liked on my Jimmy D channel, I'm pretty sure.
See, I disliked it for the, it's like the protest thing, and also just because of like this is terrible is what I thought. I really only liked the first. I haven't liked the first. I don't think I've ever actually liked any of them, but the only ones I actually enjoyed were like the first couple.
Yeah, I mean, like I mentioned, they're not terrible. It's just like I said, the only reason I disliked it is because YouTube just kind of releases them as kind of just like, it's, in my opinion, and a lot of other people think this, just to kind of sway away from all the bad things that happened that year, because YouTube has a lot of problems that they are not addressing, and disliking the video was a protest to let them know we need to change. This has to stop.
But you see, I didn't participate in that because I don't think what was that supposed to do? Like I really don't. You're just mass disliking a video isn't going to change anything, and so I didn't really see the point in participating. It's not like I'm on the side of YouTube and saying that they're not doing anything wrong or anything. It's just I don't see the benefit of mass disliking a video.
It's not necessarily going to bring them down any revenue or anything like that. It's literally just to let them know that we want you to change. We like being on YouTube. We just want to let you know that we're not happy right now.
Right, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just mass disliking a video isn't really going to do anything other than the fact that show that a lot of people dislike the video. It doesn't, from their end, assuming they even look at the statistics or anything like that.
They probably do. I mean, if they're a company, they're going to look at their statistics and they're going to realize that maybe something's up. So that's really
but I just mean I think it's much more effective to go directly to them from Twitter or YouTube support or whatever than to just mass dislike a video.
Yeah, that's better, but still counts as a protest. I'm for it. Like I said, I spend a lot of time with New York hardcore and New York death metal, and we're kind of known for that kind of thing. So
mass disliking YouTube videos? No,
protest.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I originally wasn't going to. I don't remember why I did. I think the main reason was I'm like, this will never get anywhere near the top, and when I started to see it getting up there, I'm like, why not? just because, why not? Also, again, like I said, because I didn't think it was very good.
Right. But opinions are opinions. So I don't think there's really much else to say.
Yeah, and just
any more questions?
Yeah, and just for clarity, I'm not. I wasn't trying to say that I'm not supporting protesting or anything like that. Just saying that I didn't see a point in it. Didn't see it as an effective means of protesting, so that's why I didn't participate.
That's fine. I could kind of see your points, but I still think I'm not saying that that an effect occurred. But I think it was worth a try. And that's all I'm going to say. It wasn't a waste of time.
Yeah.
That's my opinion on it.
All right. Next one comes from Potato250, who asks, "What's your favorite poopism?"
Ooh, that's a good question.
That's a tough decision.
For me, you know what? I really enjoy masking and effects and things like that. But that's not just with YouTube poops. I just like doing that with video editing in general, just special effects and masking and all kinds of things like that. So that is something I enjoy doing in YouTube poop. But if I had to pick a particular thing that is YTP exclusive, I guess sentence mixing. I mean, I'm not the best at it, but it's funny. It's fun to do. And you can make some pretty bizarre things with it. But if I had to choose another one, I guess it'd be random chopping with ear rape.
Yeah. I think for me, I'd probably say sentence mixing.
Yeah, it's. I mean, that's one of the best poopisms in my opinion. But for a personal taste, one that I think never gets old, that's still funny, is random splitting, where you split the clip into several one millisecond parts and then just scramble them, and it's like
oh
yeah.
I've only actually used it a few times, but I
find it funnier when it's with ear rape, but that's just because I think ear rape's funny. But
yeah,
I can see why people don't like it. I just think it's hilarious.
Yeah. All right, next one comes from Moist Bread, who asks, why do my feet feel so itchy and look red?
Because your name is Moist Bread, that's why.
All right, next question comes from Joseph Parent. Oh, this is pretty similar to one we already answered. Asks, what makes a good poop source good? So,
ooh, I don't think there's ever such thing as a bad source.
I would say there is, though. If somebody imagine if you've ever come across one of those channels where they have webcam videos where it's off-centered and it's dim lighting and you can't make out what they're saying. I can't imagine somebody making a good YouTube poop out of that.
Yeah, but that to me is obtaining source material. If the source that they're using, let's say it was Jimmy Neutron, that source has potential. It's just the way that it was, the quality is bad, but the source isn't bad. No,
I mean they're recording themselves, doing a vlog, and you take that video of them doing a vlog with the crappy webcam and the bad microphone.
I know what you mean. But
what?
I was just gonna say I even then
I can't hear you, Logan. You're cutting out.
I said in the right hands it could be done.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's really only so much you could do with that, though. And even if it's usable, it wouldn't be a good source.
You could take, but a good source isn't necessarily always a good. A good source for YouTube poop isn't always necessarily a good show or movie. For instance, Hoffy did Food Fight. He did a YouTube poop of Food Fight.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a terrible movie, but he made a really good poop out of it.
Well, I think an even better example is the CDI cutscenes. Those are notoriously terrible, and they're still used in YouTube poops today. So that just shows how much potential they have.
Of course, or The Room. I've seen some good poops of The Room, and that's a terrible movie.
And kind of like what we were talking about earlier about how Homestar Runners seems like a difficult source to use because it's already such a good show.
Right. So I don't think there's such thing as a bad source. It's just the way that you use it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right. Next one. And just to be clear, we're not running you out of time, are we? You still have time, right?
Nah. I mean, the maximum is 6:30, but I got time.
Okay. Yeah. We have about 5 or 6 more questions.
Okay.
All right. Next one is from Sand Music, who asks, "How are YTPs going to evolve from their current state?" Oh, I guess we already talked about this one.
Yeah, we kind of talked about that. It's literally just, they can't really always follow. I mean, they can follow meme culture, but they have to do it in a way that seems timeless.
Yeah.
They're not gonna be cringy in a couple of years because they haven't aged well. So, like I said, case in point, Ascended. But I think maybe a good way to evolve with YouTube Poop would maybe to find new styles, maybe experiment with different editing programs that haven't been used.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe I want to ask, do you use Maya to do all those 3D animations you do?
No, I use Blender, which is a free animation program.
Ah, I should try that actually. Because I use Maya because I have a 3D modeling class, and that's a very expensive software that you have to pay $1,000 a year for, but I get it free because I'm a student.
Okay.
But I think that's the software that, what's his name? Pamtree uses to make all those weird SpongeBob videos.
Yeah, me and Logan were literally just watching that. Actually, when you sent me a message on Discord earlier, and you said you were gonna be like 20 minutes late or whatever, my reply was, "Oh, okay," because we were literally watching Pamtree videos.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I get it. All right. So yeah, maybe want to just, not that I'm like super pressed for time, but just like.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess short answer for me, how things will evolve. I think it's just I don't think there's really any way of predicting it. It's just gonna kind of, well, like you said, people need to find new things to do, new ways of doing things. I guess, like, for just a very small example, I know NP Carlson, how he'll sometimes, like, for Rossetti, he'll, like, record his mouth and put it over Rossetti's face.
More stuff like that. Or Poopers, like I mentioned, Timotei LSD had a lot of his own inside jokes. Like, Pooper should try creating their own memes and inside jokes. Like, that would be funny.
Yeah, I know. The thing about YouTube Poop is, there are no rules to it other than the fact, it's making use of pre-existing source material. But so I think there's really a lot of room for experimentation, and I think it's people just need to experiment.
Right. So next question?
Okay. This one comes from SkyCuntPZ. Asks.
That's the greatest name I've ever heard.
Yeah.
I hope it's a good question.
It is actually. It's how long? It's a pretty easy to answer question. How long does it take to make a YouTube poop on average?
Okay, for me, it depends. Like I mentioned, Despicable Meme 2 took me a year because I kept putting it off. So it depends on how much time I want to put into it when I feel like working on it. But for like a quick video, it usually takes me a couple days to a week. For a longer video, it takes me a couple weeks to a month. And for videos that I just don't really care about, like I have some videos that I started months ago that I still haven't finished because I just either am not really happy with them or I just don't really care. Like I want to kind of work on videos that I have more ideas for. So it varies, but let's just say it's about a couple weeks to a month on average.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably about the same for me. I know I've made some YouTube poops in just like a day, or some even in just like 5 or 6 hours. But if you average it out, some take a lot longer. Like you said, averaging it out, it's about a couple weeks to a month.
Right.
What about you, Logan?
It's kind of a case-by-case basis, I guess. It just really all depends on how much how much editing there is to do, how long. Like, I've made some videos in one sitting. I've made some videos over the course of several months. It really all depends.
Yeah, it sounds like it's more or less the same answer for you.
Okay, so
all right.
next question.
Next one. I think this one might be aimed at me. It's from GoGo Komodo 64, who asks, "How did you get so comfortable with sentence mixing? It seems you can just easily devote hours just to mixing words up." And I say
that definitely sounds directed towards you, because I don't know if some people have noticed, I haven't been doing a whole lot of sentence mixing because I've just been trying to make shorter videos because I have a new job where I'm literally doing editing.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really do sentence mixing much either, so probably towards you.
I mean, it's kind of a generic sounding answer, but it's generic because it's true in a lot of cases. It really just comes down to practice. Like I said, if you go back and watch my very first YouTube poop, Junior's traumatizing home invasion experience, one of the things that's definitely not aged well is the sentence mixing in that one.
Yeah, it's very choppy, and it almost seems like I need like
Larry the Car.
What?
Larry the Cable Guy.
Oh,
Yeah, I said Larry the Carbal Guy.
well, you cut out, so it just sounded like you said Larry the Car.
Like, I didn't even realize you were saying Teletubbies. Like,
Yeah, I look back on that one, and it's like I said, there's still some things in there that I think held up decently, but the sentence mixing definitely did not hold up well at all.
Yeah, I mean, you can understand, but it's not perfect.
Yeah.
I think the main problem with that video is that was at that point you kind of just seemed to think sentence mixing was the only thing funny about it, like the only thing you had to do.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess you have to do to make a funny video, but your style has definitely changed a lot, and sentence mixing is the only thing you do.
Yeah, actually now I do a lot more. I do a lot more stuff where I guess it's sort of meme replacement-ish, where you kind of chop together different parts of sentences from different people or characters. I do that a lot more often than I used to. I don't think I ever did it before. I would always sentence mix stuff, and so even if the sentence mixing didn't sound right, I would still keep it. That's the one big thing that I don't do anymore. If it doesn't sound right, I don't keep it, because there's really no point in keeping it. Okay, we only have 3 more questions then.
Okay, good.
So actually, I guess this one's a conversation topic. It's from Dat Dare Kirby, who says, "Talk about Logan Paul." We already did. Then he says "JK, talk about Pokemon."
I like Pokemon. I grew up on it. I had a lot of the games, never finished them because I was terrible at RPGs and they were never really my favorite game. But I liked the show. I had a lot of plush toys, so I bought the games, and they kind of just collected dust for a while because I only played them for like a couple days and never touched them again. So I was always more of a fan of like just the trading card game. Like I have a lot of Pokemon cards still. So I've always been a much bigger fan of the design of Pokemon and the concept. Not so much the video games. Only recently have I really taken the time to play Pokemon. Like I beat Red and Blue version only 2 years ago.
Okay. Yeah, as for me and Logan as well, growing up, we were kind of in one of those families where Pokemon was demonic. Is how my parents viewed it. So never played it. I remember I had Super Smash Bros. Melee, and it has Pikachu and one or two other Pokemon in it, and
Mewtwo, Pichu, and Jigglypuff.
Yeah, that's what it is. And it's anyway, we were sitting at the table one day, and Logan just randomly I would have been like 13 or something like that, so Logan would have been 9, I think, and he just randomly said, "Hey Mom, did you know?" He said, "Hey Mom, did you know that Jalen has a rated T Pokemon game?" And anyway, Yeah, they don't think that anymore. But anyway, haven't played any of the games. I did buy Pokemon Silver from a pawn shop that needs a new battery. I just haven't replaced it yet.
It's a good game.
I've only very recently started playing the games. I forget which one it is. It's one of the remakes. One of the remakes on 3DS. So I have Pokemon Moon, Ultra Moon, and also Pokemon Silver. The only one I've actually finished is Pokemon Moon. So I've only very recently started to kind of dip my toes in the series.
Yeah, I'm more about the older Pokemon games. I kind of stopped following it now because there's so many Pokemon, and not to say they're running out of ideas, they just keep getting more bizarre.
I mean,
too much to follow.
Yeah.
The only reason, right, Pokemon Moon, I think the reason why that's the only one I've actually finished is because it's the one that kept me interested the longest. I really liked the game. I thought it was really good. But then again, that's also coming from someone who that was my first Pokemon game. So
yeah, my first was Red and Blue. So and that's one of my favorite games of all time, in my opinion.
Actually, I remember now. The one I have on 3DS, it's a remake. It's the Pokemon Red remake.
Fire Red.
I never finished Fire Red. Is that what it was?
Did you get it off of Virtual Console?
No, wait, no. Not Red.
No, it was Ruby.
Ruby.
Omega Ruby.
That's the one. I have that one. I started playing it, and then I put it down and never back up.
That's a fun game, too, Ruby and Sapphire. And the remakes are pretty good, too.
Is it too late for me to start playing Pokemon Go?
Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't played it in a year. I wouldn't recommend it.
Probably.
Even with all the new updates, it's like, there's no point.
Yeah. Okay.
No one else is playing it.
Next one comes from, let me see how I pronounce that. Zamboni Zombie Bot.
That's a good name.
If somehow YTPs came to television and you were directing it, how would you go about making it? I have thought.
Okay.
I've thought about this before. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Just
no, go ahead.
Really quickly. I think if any TV channel ever would be accepting of YouTube poops, it would have to be Adult Swim. I could easily see something like that. And as for how I would go about making it, I would just make it no different from what I'm doing now. Just following whatever the guidelines Adult Swim gives me.
Yeah. But I would follow Adult Swim's guidelines, not Ajit Pai's guidelines. I mean, you have to go through the FCC if you're going to be on television, but
Yeah.
I don't think Adult Swim really cares about the FCC.
No, I don't think Adult Swim cares about anything that isn't Adult Swim. That's kind of the general attitude that Adult Swim seems to have.
That's why they're my favorite network right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, and also one other thing I wanted to say, you pretty much answered the question, but in a way, Adult Swim has pretty much already produced YouTube poop because, like we mentioned before, shows like Aqua Teen, Squidbillies, Space Ghost Coast to Coast even.
Mm-hmm.
I think the two best examples of YouTube poop-like shows are Space Ghost Coast to Coast and Tim and Eric, because Space Ghost uses like old animation cells, and that's kind of what we do with masking,
Yeah.
And then Tim and Eric's editing style is very much like a YouTube poop.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right.
But, is this the last question?
Yes, this is the last question, and it's a perfect question to go out on. This is from Demon Hunter number 111, who asks, "Where's Despicable Meme 3?"
The best way to answer that question is up your ass and to the left. Thank you very much.
All right.
I'm sorry, I had to answer it like that. But in a serious way, I already said it plenty of times before, not making another Minions or Despicable Me related video ever again because I don't like any of the newer movies, and I really don't have a lot of respect for Illumination either. So
also, you're not going to watch the Mario movie they're making?
I am going to go see that film just to see how it comes out, but I don't have a lot of high hopes for it.
Me and Logan were. I was just talking to Logan about that earlier, and I think we can all agree that the movie would be a perfect 10 out of 10 if they made the main villain of the movie Fawful and cast Tommy Wiseau to voice Fawful.
That's brilliant.
That would be amazing.
But yeah, whether or not it was one of the reasons why I don't have high hopes for it is Illumination, but it's not the main reason. It's just because it's a movie about Mario.
Yeah.
And if we've learned anything, movie adaptations of video games, whatever it might be, whether it's Mario, Sonic, Metal Gear Solid, Mortal Kombat, or anything, they don't always play out that well.
Yeah. Although at least they are going for an animated movie, and that's at least a step in the right direction. We don't need another live action.
That is a good direction to go in. But
the thing is,
what?
I was just gonna say, but the thing is, what can you do, Mario?
Well, I know I remember talking to you about this back when you first started watching Adventure Time, but Adventure Time is very similar to Mario when you really think about it.
Yeah, it is.
I think if they went with some sort of a weird, surreal type of story,
but not stray too far from what makes Mario Mario.
Right. But we got to have all those fart jokes and butt shots, just because that's can't have Illumination movie without those.
I'll actually give Illumination props if they don't include that.
Yeah.
I mean, that was funny once. Okay, Despicable Me 1, in my opinion, is a pretty well-crafted movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually, some people don't know this, it's one of my favorite animated films. I'm
Yeah.
not crazy about the sequels at all. And I like the first one because the minions really aren't the main focus. I mean, they're funny in that film, but once they started capitalizing on it, then it was kind of like, okay, they're just annoying now.
Yeah. Who do you think the minion characters are going to be in the Mario movie? Do you think they're going to make the Goombas act like minions?
I would say...
Or Toad?
I would say Toad would be the minion type character.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny that you mentioned the Goombas. Because I think it was I Hate Everything who kind of, I don't know if you maybe you watched the video.
Yeah, I saw it. I saw that.
Where they mentioned basically the same thing. How it's like the Goombas I think they're probably the most likely candidate to be minionized.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did you watch that?
Yeah, I did. It was pretty good, and they made some pretty interesting points that I pretty much felt the same way about. So.
Yeah.
That's really all I have to say about this new Mario thing.
Yeah,
so.
Although the question was about Despicable Meme 3. Although I will say, I'm pretty sure that was just a joke question.
Yeah, I'm not making any more, like I said, no more Illumination. Like, not even just Despicable Me. I'm not doing any poops of the Lorax, or Sing, or, or Secret Life of Pets, or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not doing any poops based off of Illumination films, period. So I'm pretty much doing what Emperor Lemon did. No more like no more Pixar poops. For me, it's no more Illumination poops.
Yeah.
But when is Minions coming?
Okay, moving on.
Well, that was the last question. So
Oh, okay.
I guess
I gotta answer it. It's not coming.
Yeah.
And,
well, you already did though. We can start wrapping things up then.
Yep.
So, thanks for being a part of this. This was one of the more fun conversations, I would say.
Yeah. I definitely enjoyed this. I enjoyed my time here, and I definitely hope the episode turns out well.
I'm sure it will. For the last thing then, before you go, like I mentioned to you before we started recording, at the end of every episode we ask our guests, what are the 3 videos from your channel that you would recommend people check out if they've never watched your videos before, and we'll link those in the description, as well as I just recently made a playlist of all of them, so you can watch all of the recommended videos back to back to back if you want to. That'll also be linked in the description.
Okay. First and foremost, I think if you want to start with my channel, I would recommend Despicable Meme 2, not the first one. If you want to watch the first one, that's fine. But personally, I don't think it's a good one to start with because I've definitely grown a lot since then. So I think in terms of a newer YouTube poop that really hasn't swayed a lot from my current style, Despicable Meme 2 is definitely, I think, one of my better videos, even though I didn't want to make it. But I didn't want to just half-ass it. I really wanted to make sure I put time and effort into it, and I think it came out very well. So, Despicable Meme 2 would be my first.
Okay.
It's hard to pick, because picking your videos is almost kind of like picking your children, in a way.
Yeah.
But if I had to choose... it's so hard. Okay, for my second one, I guess I would choose... You know what? For my second one, this is a little bit of a lesser-known one. I mean, it has a decent amount of views, but it really hasn't been gaining any extra popularity since it was released. This is from 2006. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pick one from each year.
Okay.
So I picked one from 2017. So my favorite one from 2016 was an Ed, Ed, and Eddy poop that I made called The Ed Boys Learn to Sentence Mix with the Lights Out. And that was a really fun video to make. I made it in only 2 days, and it was kind of like a tribute to, like, 2011 poops. Like, it was very, like, fast-paced, and the sentence mixing, like, when it sentence mixed, like, I kind of left the video clips in, so on the video side it looked choppy, but I personally think the sentence mixing in that one is some of my best. So,
Okay.
I mean, the title says it all. The sentence mixing is the main portion of the video. So, yeah, definitely that Ed, Ed, and Eddy poop. And then for a 2015 video, there aren't too many that I liked particularly from that because it was my first year. But there was one that really stuck out to me, and it was my first Family Guy poop, Peter Griffin's RedBullsh Adventure. Or it's actually called Geeter Priffin's RedBullsh Adventure, or Fantastic... what the frick is it called? Okay, here's the actual title. Phone. Geeter Priffin's Fantastic RedBullsh Adventure. And that was a fun video to make. That I made in about like a week or two. And that was like one of the first poops where my style started to get really fast. And I still enjoy a lot of the edits from it.
Okay.
So those are my three.
All right. Okay, I guess, like I said, I'll link those in the description, as well as a playlist to watch every recommended video from all of our guests. And thanks again for coming on. Hope you guys
It was
listening.
a pleasure.
Hope you guys listening enjoyed it. We will have a new episode in 2 weeks. Do you have anything to add, Logan?
No.